Hi there, class. Mr. Pusky here. We're doing 2.2 and 2.3 today. We'll do 2.2 and 2.3 in separate lesson videos, I believe. Just make it easier. So 2.2 is slope and rate of change. Our essential questions are: be able to find slope of a line from a picture, be able to classify a line by its slope, be able to find the slope of a line from two ordered pairs, be able to determine parallel and perpendicular lines by slope, and be able to determine which line is steeper by using slope. So slope is, it's a ratio of the vertical change over the horizontal change, or you guys may have heard of this before, it's blank over blank. What is that usually called? It's going to be rise over what? Rise over run. You may have heard that before. Okay? So slope is represented by the letter M, and you can find by using the boxes, counting the number up or down over the number left or right. And so it's going to be rise over run. So if you had, for example, if you had 3 over 4, that would be up 3, right 4. If you had negative 1 over 7, that would be down 1, right 7. Okay? So yeah, all right. You can find the slope by from an actual like ordered pair, or from two ordered pairs, that is, which are going to be like this. It's going to be x1, x1, y1, and x2, y2. And the slope formula is this: y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is going all the way back to chapter 4, I believe, of Algebra 1. So a long time since we talked about this, but all very important stuff. Okay, it says classify lines using slopes. We have a positive slope, a zero slope, an undefined slope, and a negative slope. If you think you can draw each of these slopes without my help, go ahead and give it a try, and then check your answers in a second when you pause the video. All right, positive slope. Is it going to go up from left to right or down from left to right? It's going to go up from left to right. That's a positive slope, so it's going to rise. It's going to rise. A zero slope and undefined slope is one that people usually goof up. And actually, I don't have room for it much right here. I'll have to go to the top over here. We use something called Hoy-Bucks. Okay, Hoy-Bucks is a acronym that's going to help us remember this stuff. Let's go through that really quickly here. H is a horizontal line. It's going to have a 0 is going to equal to slope. And it's going to be y equals a number is what the equation is going to look like, or it's going to cross the y-axis. Okay? So this is a Hoy-Bucks. H-O-Y-V-U-X. The O is actually a 0, but it's going to help us remember this here, okay? What does V stand for, do you think? It's a vertical line. The U is an undefined slope. It's going to be x equals a number is what the equation is going to look like, and it's going to crosses the x-axis. Okay? Hoy-Bucks. So if we have a zero slope, if we look at our Hoy-Bucks over there, a zero slope is going to be a horizontal line. So we're going to draw a horizontal line. Think like the horizon, right? The horizon is just the kind of a straight line. If you're looking out over like a flat surface or flat piece of land, it's going to be the horizon. Okay? And it's going to be zero slope, it's going to be a horizontal line. Okay? An undefined slope in Hoy-Bucks was a vertical line. So we're going to draw a line up and down. I'm just drawing them anywhere on the graph too. It can be anywhere on the graph. I just drew it on these spots just because I thought it'd be easier. That's actually not much of a vertical line. Let's fix that. Hopefully this is better. You get the idea. I can't really draw it perfect with the software, but it'll work. Undefined slope, and the reason why it's undefined is you can't have 0 in the denominator. We can't divide by 0. That's when we have an issue. So, yeah. All right. Negative slope's going to fall from left to right. It falls from left to right. Okay, those arrows are pretty excellent. Okay, sounds good. So these are different types of slopes that we have for actual, I guess, linear equations. Because we have other types of equations like parabolas and quadratics, and we have absolute value equations, which we're going to be talking about later. But for now, or functions that is. For right now, we're just talking about linear graphs. Okay. So it says find the slope of the line passing through the given points. Decide whether the line rises, falls, is horizontal, or is vertical. Okay, so we're going to do our, remember our m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we're going to label this x1, y1, x2, y2. Same thing over here, x1, y1, x2, y2. Some people goof up how they label this. Just remember that every point, every ordered pair needs an x and a y. So it's x1, y1, and it's x2, y2, okay? Or x3, y3, x4, y4. You need an x1 and you need an x and a y no matter what type of thing you're doing here, okay? So we're gonna plug into this equation. So we're gonna or m equals, that is, y2 minus y1, so we have 4 minus negative 5 over, we have 8 minus 3. We do chop chop, minus a negative is plus a positive, and we get our answer of 4 plus 5 is going to be 9 for 8 minus 3, which is 5. Can we reduce that at all? Does 5 go into 9 nicely? Or numbers that go into 5 to 9? Nope. So our answer is going to be 9 over 5. And is this going to rise, fall, be horizontal, or vertical? What do you guys think? I actually should have put vertical over here. Let me fix something really quick. This is vertical. I wrote horizontal and then I wrote 0 in the denominator. It's actually vertical. Okay, so this is a positive number, so it's going to be a positive slope, which means it's going to rise. It rises. Okay? Why don't you guys go ahead and try number 2 on your own and see if you can do it. All right, welcome back. M equals, we're going to do y2 minus y1. So we have y2 minus y1 is going to be negative 2 minus 7 all over 8 minus 8. Negative 2 minus 7 is negative 9. 8 minus 8 is 0. We have 0 in the denominator. Can we ever divide by 0 or no? No, this is going to be undefined. Undefined slope, and it's going to be a vertical line. Okay. One thing I wanted to ask you too, does it matter if you call this point x2, y2 and this point x1, y1? Do you think it matters if you just flip around the actual points? It actually doesn't matter if we do it both ways. I can show you that if you want. Let's do it really quickly here. So I'm going to do negative 5 minus 4 on top over 3 minus 5, or minus 8 that is. That's going to be negative 9 over negative 5, which still equals 9 over 5. You see how it still worked out? So you can label your points however you want. I just go first point and second point usually, but you do not have to do that. You can label it how you want. Cool, you guys are doing a great job, I can tell, even though I can't see you. Next page here, we got the second page here, and then we'll take a break and we'll go to the second lesson in a little bit. So comparing steepness of lines. So the greater the absolute value of the slope of a line, the steeper the line is going to be. So for example, if you had negative 4 and 1/2, which slope is actually going to be steeper? Well, the absolute value of negative 4 is 4. The absolute value of 1/2 is 1/2. So even though 4 is more negative, it's not the most positive slope. It's the one that's got the biggest absolute value. So this one's going to be steeper because it's a negative 4. It's going to be 4 for an absolute value. Okay? It's just more steep in the negative direction. This one's going in the positive direction like this, and this one's going more steep like that. Okay? All right, cool. Tell which line is steeper. So you want to go ahead and figure out the slopes for both these lines, and then you want to figure out which line is steeper. Go ahead and give it a try. All right, welcome back. So we got line 1. So m equals, I'm not going to label the points, we're just going to get right into it. We should know how to do this formula here. So we're going to do y2 minus y1, so I'm going to do negative 7 minus, I'm going to do plus 3 actually. I'm not going to do minus negative 3. I'm going to do negative 7 plus 3 over 4 minus 2. And that's going to equal what? Negative 4 over 2, which equals negative 2. When you divide that. So that's the slope of line 1. Let's do line 2 now. So now we have y2 minus y1, so I'm going to do 5 minus 2 over 4 plus 1. And that's going to equal 3 over 4 plus 1 is 5. So which one's more steep? Negative 2 or 3/5? Well, 2 is greater than 3/5, so that means that line 1 is steeper. Did you get it right? I hope you did. I'm sure you did. Line 1 is going to be a steeper line here. All right, cool. So, slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines. Parallel lines do not what? What do you think we're going to put in the blank here? They do not cross or intersect. Do not cross or intersect, and they're going to have what kind of slopes? The same or equal slopes. So two parallel lines would look something like this. Not perfect, but that'll work. Those are parallel lines. Then we have perpendicular lines. Sorry, these are parallel lines, I should have said. I don't know if I said that right, but perpendicular lines are going to make a what kind of angle? A right angle, which is how many degrees? 90 degrees. All right, and what are the slopes of perpendicular lines? So an example of two perpendicular slopes would be like 2 and negative 1/2, or 1/7 and negative 7. What kind of numbers are these here? What kind of numbers are these here? These are called opposite what? Opposite reciprocals. They're opposite reciprocals. You flip them and change the sign, basically. 2 over 1 becomes 1/2, and you change it to negative. 1/7 becomes 7 over 1, and we change it to a negative. Okay? All right. Cool. Perpendicular lines. Let's draw those really quickly. That was bad. Not perfect, but it'll work. There's some perpendicular lines. Okay. It says tell whether the lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So go ahead and try to figure it out. So, yeah, perpendicular lines are going to have opposite reciprocal slopes. And parallel lines are going to have the same slope. And neither is going to be just no matter, there's going to be whatever. So, okay, or anything else, I guess. Go ahead and give them a try. All right, so we have line 1. We're doing m equals y2 minus y1 is going to be negative 2 plus 2 over 3 minus 1, which equals negative 2 plus 2 is 0 over 2, which equals, well, what's 0 divided by 2 going to be? It's going to be 0. So slope of 0 is what kind of line in Hoy Bucks? In Hoy, horizontal y equals, it's 0 slope. It's going to be a horizontal line. It's a horizontal line right here. Okay, let's do line 2. So they either need to be, if they're parallel, they need to be 0 is going to be the same slope, or they need to be the opposite reciprocal slope, which is going to be undefined. Let's see how we do over here. For line 2, we have 0 minus 5 on top, over 4 minus 4, which equals negative 5 over 0. This is an undefined slope, which means it's going to be a vertical line, right? Bucks, vertical line. So what are these? Are these parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Well, horizontal and vertical line are going to be straight up and straight down like this, which means it's going to be a right angle. They're going to be perpendicular. So the lines are perpendicular. All right, but other lines you have, if you had, like, for example, you had this was right here was, 7 over 2, negative 7 over 2, and this one over here was 2 over 7. Those would be perpendicular. If they were both negative 7 over 2, they would both be parallel. Okay, hopefully you get the idea. All right, I'm going to stop the video there. Go ahead and continue watching 2.3 in a second.